Okay. All right. There we go. Hello everybody, welcome back. What's up, Charles? Just in time for the SLS. So I got the see, this has been something that's been happening a lot today. It's shutting me down a lot, and it doesn't normally do this very often, but it has done this a lot tonight. So bear with me. Now, this is something that especially people in the paranormal field are good at to face in investigations, is devices not wanting to work during investigations. Look, the second I have it away from the camera, it works just fine. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. There's like 50,000 different windows open. I gotta close some of these windows. I apologize for this. I will get this up and running on live in just a moment. Very carefully. Doubt. Just said doubt. Okay. So there's the SLS. Now let me get over here. I might have to actually aim the Connect down like that. So nothing in the ordinary going on right now. But if Pam or anything here wants to hop in front of this camera, they can. It just said pass. Now that could mean that it had already passed without me catching it, because it wanted to play tricks with me with this device. I'm sorry, I haven't been reading these. Let me see. Your gadgets are cool. Oh, I appreciate that. Now this SLS camera is also known as the structured light sensor camera. This captures apparitions or anomalies in a stick figure-like formation, so it is able to catch in a spectrum of light that we don't see, and this Connect sensor will detect them. Sometimes there is something right there. See that? So we got something mapped, and it looks like it's on the chair. Bottom. You're sitting on your bottom. Oh, it was actually on the doll. That's... Oh, and one of my cameras just died. Yeah, that was my my digital still camera that I was recording on. It just now died. That's interesting. That shows right there it used some of the energy to manifest, quite possibly from that digital still camera that I had recording. There it is again on the doll. Are you seeing this? Oh, whoa, it's almost like doing tricks. Maybe it's trying to find a way around. It's gone now. It's probably trying to figure out how to get around that binded area. Oh yeah, it is. It's definitely active. And like I've been telling everybody, I've been told by renowned mediums that they don't want anybody else touching this object. However, it won't really affect me as much because there is a connection, some type of connection, a pattern to the entity in the doll and my attachment when I was a child. So since I have overcome this attachment a lot more, and I do apologize because I am right next to the microphone. I don't want it to be too loud or static. I apologize. um, I have some self-empowerment of this and bind and control. So I've learned how to deal with these kind of objects, especially this particular one. And this is something that I am documenting to get an understanding. Haunted objects or possessed objects versus haunted places or possessed places. Weird stuff at Darling. Um, it just said R, the letter R. There it is again. You see this. Where are you going? Oh, 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 look at the arms. Are you seeing this? Okay, it's standing like really close. Can you please go back to the doll? Pam, can you please go back to the doll? Okay, it looks like Pam is trying to get to the stool. Pam, can you go back to the doll, please? I see you. Everybody else does too. I'm sorry I'm not holding this upright. Now this also, if you look at the shape of this figure, it is not in any particular normal human shape. It is climbing the wall, I believe. This should not happen. This is unexplained, everybody. This should not be happening just like this. It is gone. Oh, there it is again. Back in the doll. Thank you for intelligently doing that. I appreciate that. Okay, it just said became direction. That's interesting because I gave it a direction to do something, to go back to the doll. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. And Charles, I know you're seeing this. This is good stuff. I hope the others are watching either around you or on their phones because this is good stuff to touch on and understanding with these types of objects. And I know you're seeing that. I know you're wowed about that right now. As Pam is definitely active tonight. Now, okay, wait. Look at Giggles. Now, Charles, I know you see this. Giggles is right there, right where that mapped out on. That shows. um, hey, thank you everybody for participating in this live shoot with Pam and I. And been getting some really good responses tonight. And I'm actually curious to see if there's any voices. Now, I ain't gonna lie, my hand's getting a little shaky holding this device because the SLS camera can be heavy at times, especially depending on what kind of build you have. This is my build right here, and it's oh, that was interesting. It's now see when my hand will look like this on there, and actually if I actually were to step in front of that doll, it would map out me. Which is completely normal. Now, when you're getting a free-floating stick figure, is Pam okay? Pam's doing fine. Actually, Pam's been very polite, respectful, hasn't been really saying anything very dark to me, which is good, and I respect that. Actually, Pam went back to its rightful place on cue. I asked it to return back to the doll, and it actually did. Hey, what's up, Matt? Oh yeah, it's been a lot of communication going in, and Pam did say communicate, which is exactly what is going on. So I'm literally holding this device with two hands right now. You know, this device right here is okay. Whoa. Back up, back up. Something's really close here. Okay, it's gone. That's weird. See, I'm trying to debunk that, but I can't do it. Oh. It's just something that is... Oh, look at, and it goes right back to the doll. That's amazing right there. It shows an intelligent direction of where it belongs to. The object right here. Now we're going to pan this a little bit. Look at the ceiling, because this entity does like to crawl on walls. So it looks like it's being quiet right now. Now, I'm going to carefully see if I could get my other camera on, because I want to give my hand a rest and start recording this without me holding this. So just give me one moment, everybody. I'm just going to set this down real quick, because I do have several other cameras running, and I want to get it all pieced in for you guys so everybody... That's the second time it said muscle, and it said map. The interesting thing about that it said map is that it knows that it mapped itself on this camera. A sign of intelligence. This is what I'm saying. So now I got to direct this. Oh, this is perfect. I just need to get a good shot at this. And in order for me to do that, I got to do something a little kooky to get this to actually reach the picture of this. Sometimes you kind of have to when you're doing stuff like this. You got to do what you got to do to get a shot. So just bear with me just a moment. Okay, I got to move this a little closer to the camera. Be right there, everybody. Okay, so we're rolling. I got it rolling right now. Okay, so I gotta make sure I get Pam right there. Okay, I'm back. So let's get a little change in light. Okay. So let's turn this off. And we're going to do UV, okay? And actually I have a UV bar, a 4-footer right here, so, what's that? Fade. Fade. So it said fade, the last word was met. Communicate. Field, okay, so it's actually acknowledging that it's using a field to communicate. Oh, thank you. It's a hat. Yeah. I was wearing a beanie the last one. Friendly. So it's being respectful right now, which is great. So it's that means this is a peaceful session. And we want to keep it that way. But things could turn, so kind of, don't want that to happen. So sorry, everybody. I'm just plugging in this 4-footer UV bar real quick. Just take a moment. This is live, and sometimes interesting things happen live. Unexpectedly, you just never know what's going to happen. Okay, so we got the 4-footer on. I'm I'm wondering if that's too much light. I think that's too. Waters again. Earth. Waters, earth. That's what just came in. So I think I got a little bit too much light. That 4-footer lit this up a little too much. So let's turn that out because I want less light. So we'll just hang with this. Can everybody see me okay? Moan. Interesting. So Pam is definitely being very talkative right now. I could definitely say that. So we are technically on the second session. I want to break out, where did I put it? Here it is. The energy puck. This will detect any kind of statics in the field. So anything that wants to, any kind of static energy, this device is going to detect it. It's going to show exactly actually where it's being detected from what direction. Okay, so here's a good place. I'm going to swap out where the EM pump is and put the EM pump actually right here. Okay, and this, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's not a really good spot, but it'll light up. I know the comments are kind of blocking it a little bit, but when it lights up, it'll look like that. So, and even if you don't see it, the cameras will see it, and when I actually post this, Charles, I don't know yet, but I have the EVP recorder actually running. It's been running since the first session. So it's been running for quite some time, and actually I'm going to stop this recording and actually begin a new one. So a completely whole new session. So I'm definitely looking forward to wondering. Oh yeah, definitely. I know, right? Because you know there's probably going to be something. The cameras are actually doing really good. I got one infrared camera that's going to be going out. It's on 1 bar right now. And both are actually on 1 bar, but they've already lasted an hour. So I'm actually very proud about that they haven't shut down on me. I got to check this camera to make sure it's rolling still. Yep. Good. I did max out the GoPro on the SLS, so we got like probably 30-40 minutes. I don't know when that thing died, but yeah, I know, right? Hey, welcome, Haunted Pursuit. What's up? They're being hella weird. So yeah, definitely a very active night for sure. Awesome job. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm going to sit down real quick and kind of baseline my own body, because you know, you don't want to let them use, just a moment, I could feel this generating on me. I'm going to move an object for a moment. I'm not trying to get sick from this. Oh. So, now, the human body itself is really the most important tool on an investigation. Our energy, our spiritual energy that connects with the other side is actually very, very powerful. And I'm sorry if I'm like really dark, because this is a kind of a horrible lighting, but it's very powerful, and that's why it's extremely important to actually get the knowledge and the studies in this stuff before you do this. So if you're thinking about getting into the paranormal field, make sure you get some knowledge and some understanding of what you're getting into, because your body connects with this stuff spiritually very, very strongly, especially if you are prone in a sensitive energy. England, it said that last time. I'm sure Charles remembers that because it said that last time. Oh, what's up, Xavier? I didn't know you were in. I haven't had a chance to really look at all the comments. Trying to kind of simultaneously keep an eye on everything. I haven't noticed any temperature changes. So there hasn't been any noticeable temperature changes. It just said energy. That's interesting because I was talking about, the human body and your spiritual energy on how that ties with the other side extremely well. Now, if you know how to actually demand, okay, it just said energy, demand energy. Now, you could use the energy from this energy pump to manifest a voice. You have something you want to say, there's an EVP recorder right there. You could use this energy, okay? So that's what that's for. And you can also use, you got a REM pod right there, it generates electromagnetic energy. I know that's probably what you're feeling. If that's what you're referring to, that is probably what you feel, Pam. Now with intelligent objects, intelligent spirits or negative energies and stuff like that, when you're dealing with that type of stuff, you don't want to talk to it in any way that's going to be disrespectful to it. You want to be firm. Don't use provocation, though. I don't recommend it. So if anybody also has anything to say as far as any kind of personal experiences that they have experienced and want to talk about that, feel free to comment on that, and I may have some answers for you at the best of my knowledge. So feel free to ask, and I will answer at my best. And if I don't have the answers because I'm not going to give you misinformation, I will definitely research more on that subject that I may not know and kind of look more into it. Bush. I'm wondering that, so there's definitely some type of interesting pattern to what's going on, and I'm going to find out just like I did the first live. It just said chain, exactly what I'm talking about. The pattern could be a chain. This is a chain of a pattern of words that are broken up, and you just kind of have to piece them together. It's exactly how this usually works with the Ovilus. And the thing that I actually, my camera just died. Just a moment. Well, actually, you know what? It's fine. I still have another one running. I'm going to use that one for now. I'll use that camera for now. Actually, I could actually blast this. How's that look? Does that look bad? Yeah, that does. That is way too bright. I'm sorry. So I think we use the UV long enough. I think we'll change it up, okay? So we're going to get... Okay, that is too bright. We did red. We're going to change the spectrum of light. And this is I'm doing this not to make a creepy atmosphere, but actually to see in a different spectrum of light that our eyes don't see. So it has to be a darker color. I think we'll go back to green like we did before, because that one actually is really calm. Hello, thank you for joining. And anybody that has joined in and missed the first segment, I will be posting this on there, so check it out in case if you missed some stuff. I'm also running several other cameras, and will be posting highlights from what I catch on the other cameras. Any other stuff that I don't post on the highlights, I will be posting as just a small, like 3 to 4 minute video like the last one of highlights. There's a lot more stuff that's even on the first live show that I haven't released yet, but we'll be kind of gradually putting it out there, because I'm going to chunk some of this stuff out and put it in the film about the doll. So, and when I kind of line them all out together and just, there's the other camera just died. When I get that film out and lighted all the cards together, just like it was talking about cards, it's going to be a lot more easier understanding for everybody. So let me grab this battery. I have a backup battery over here. I just need to move my digital still camera real quick. Sorry, I got a lot of stuff I have to move to get to this. I should have had this better prepared. It's kind of unprofessional, but like I said, it's live, and anything could happen live when you're not ready for it. So something that tends to happen a lot. And there we go. We're back on record. I got my battery, so I'm going to change the battery real quick. So just take a second. Luckily, this is a easy to change out battery, and I definitely was prepared for this to happen. This happens a lot. Okay, now I'll get my camera running again. Okay, let's try this again. I think I put it in upside down. It's fine. Bear with me, everybody. I'll be right there. And I just got the camera on. We're rolling. Okay. I got it. I want to make sure I have at least one IR camera running. There it is. Make sure I line up the shot. Okay. Looks like my IR light is going out on that one, which is fine. This is fine because I do have enough light to make up for that with this green light. So that's fine. I'm going to put this battery back on the charger, so that way I have a backup in case if this thing dies right away, because you just never know when it's going to happen. I've had already a few things die on me through this live segment. Enough. I'm sorry I missed some of the comments. Is there a way Pam could respond to us typing? I wouldn't recommend communicating with the doll directly. If there's something you want me to ask the doll for you, that's fine. But I've been strongly advised from a medium saying that it's not something recommended for anybody to touch the doll or try to make contact with the doll unless, you know, they actually really have an understanding of what they're doing. But even then, because I'm the primary owner of the doll, and Pam understands that, it's not going to be chaotic or vengeful. Yeah, I just don't want anything to happen. You know, I'm sure you want a pleasant night's sleep tonight, so. Pam, can you? Yeah, let's not do that, because you gotta, you know, you want to be careful what you wish for. This entity is a real ancient entity. It's, you know, it's not something, you know, that's fake. We're talking real life stuff here, and real life communication, intelligent communication, and that's interesting. It just said Metaphysics, AH. Wow. That's interesting, considering the fact that, you know, I have all these spiritual protections and it's surrounded by all sorts of metaphysical items. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, MJC. Now, it looks like the energy puck hasn't gone off. Let me check it to make sure it's alright. It's still running. No activity on that, which is fun. You know, sometimes entities are kind of pick and choosy of what they want to interact with. I've seen this happen. Yes, I have. The Ovilus box is something that Pam has a more easier understanding of how to use. It just said storm. Some. Now, are you I can't even speak right now. Referring storm as that these metaphysical items are in any ways like stirring up some type of storm of energy that you can't break through. And it says some, it said S-U-M, some. Okay, so has. Some has. Now this is where I try to find out what it's talking about, the word storm, why it would be saying this. This is important. So this is important though. All this documentation is important, especially with the entity that is tied with this object. From the knowledge that I have of this entity, shoes. It's talking about shoes again. And shoes are all surrounded by these objects. I do feel a little bit of static around me. Almost kind of like a tingling effect. And you could kind of feel it like a bubble. Like it's a bubble kind of the upper part of my body. It's kind of a static. This is a charge, a static charge. So this is normal behavior. Save. This is just kind of something that you may feel an effect when you're invoking or making communication. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate that comment. So now it just said couch. Well, I had to move the couch earlier to kind of navigate my cameras around clear. Okay. Well, so like I was saying with the Ovilus box and Pam understands the Ovilus box a lot. And there's not much explaining to do with this device, with this object. And as you can see, the intelligence with the doll, it knows that and it understands that. That static charge feeling is gone, so it's moved away. I don't feel it no more. I have this EM pump right here in the corner. It's what that little light is right here. It's generating that electromagnetic energy to make it easier for it to manifest this. So this will help make it much more clear, and that's probably why it's saying clear, to communicate. Different entities have different power levels. Yes, there is, in demonology, there is entities at different hierarchies or different levels in these infernal places, or corresponding to planets as well as elements or elementals. And all these all these have a branch of who they command, who they're being commanded by, and how many legions or spirits they may command. And there's different levels, and some control or rule the east, the west, the north, the south, and do they drag people? Yes, actually, this is a phenomenon that can happen. They could actually physically touch you, and powerful enough, if you give them that enough power of fear, or basically you're being tormented by these things. The more tormented you are by these things, the more power and narcissistic these entities will be on you, and actually have enough strength to pull you. I don't know. So definitely these things could pull you. They could scratch you. They could bite you. They could burn you. It just depends on how much light you allow to surround yourself, and to bind that negative energy or negative force or influences away from you. So when it comes to stuff like this, and there's always going to be something that is going to be more challenging out in the field, no matter what, there's always going to be that danger, that risk. And as paranormal investigators, and the more research I do, this is disciplining in a way to get a more understanding, but safely, to understand what we're doing before we do this type of stuff. And this is important. Hello. Thank you for joining. So, and I appreciate everybody making it here today. And, when this is my last segment, so, we're trying to get as much stuff rolling. I'm down one camera. Actually, I'm down two cameras. I just filled a memory card on the GoPro. But I still have two cameras rolling, an IR, and I got a camera rolling on the SLS camera. So the SLS is still running. We got phenomenal captures on the SLS, by the way. Let's see. No, not at all. Not at all. This is actually self-protection of myself and protection of the doll from harming anybody, any viewers. That's why it's dying with crystals, and that's why I warn respectfully not to provoke or or anybody to get curious and try to invoke the spirit that is in the doll themselves, because it just said word, because this could be an insult to the entity, because this entity does not like to be insulted. It actually understands insult. This thing will be agitated. And king, and sometimes so demons will twist lies with the truth. So sometimes if you allow it to get in your head, it will tell you some things that are true, basically exposing, but throwing lies in there to provoke the situation, to agitate, and they feed off that. So it just said house, allowing a light barrier around your aura by being positive, because peace and love is what really intimidates these entities, but rather than using provocation. So this is something that I definitely advise people to use rather than provocation during an investigation, is actually to have a peace in mind and love, and actually respect. So having respect for the entities in the environment, whether they're good or bad, is very important. Because when you're there, you're on their time. It takes a lot for them to manifest on their time. Now, this doesn't mean to like the entities, like if they're bad, but you kind of have to respect their grounds in a way. If you're trying to drive out an entity from a home, peace and love and protection, spiritual protection, and self-empowerment, strong free will. These are important keys in an environment like this when you're dealing with entities that will try to manipulate you. You can't feed into that. Out. It just said out after saying house, and it did mention king. And this is interesting because of what the ancient entity falls in a command of 1,000 spirits, like a king or a kingdom. And it does correspond on a different planet in our solar system. So this is very interesting that it is saying king, because this thing does command other entities. So now, key things that I've experienced so far. Gold. So far, my experiences tonight, personally, of how I felt, very little anxiety. Usually Pam gives me a lot of anxiety, but I noticed that she's been very timid and respectful actually tonight, so I'm very thankful for that. Not much of anxiety. I've had anxiety for a split moment, but it was gone immediately. Plus, I kind of didn't let myself fall into that. So I grasped myself from that. So that didn't last long. And then when I got that clammy feel on the back of my neck, this is fun. Thank you. It's fun, to get an understanding of how this works and what's going on. So do the entities actually have genders? Yes, and some may not. Should I walk? Yeah, some can have genders, yes. There are female demons or feminine demons. There's, also feminine angels and male angels, male entities. It just said Z. Now, there's only 2 Z words in this device. So the Ovilus device has about a vocabulary that fits 2,500 words. So out of 2,500 words, it only has 2 Z words. So Z can mean several different things. It has the word zinc and then Z. It just said wicked. That's the first negative thing. It said another negative thing earlier, but this one was probably the most disturbing thing so far said. Now, are you trying... It could be trying to intimidate me because I just walked close to it and I'm sitting now right next to it. Now, the interesting thing is I do have an EVP recorder running, and it knows this. Zebra. So it understands that it is being recorded for documentation, and there's, like I said, in demonology, this entity that is tied to this object, the only documentation of what this object or what this entity looks like is a mass of energy. There's no documentation of a physical appearance of what it actually looks like. So, that's crazy awesome. I appreciate it. So there's no documentation of what this actually looks like. So this is something that needs to be documented, especially for demonology information. So I'm down to... it just said wicked ghost. Okay, well, that's definitely understanding, but like I said, this is a yes. No, not. I've only brought Pam to Dyer Lane. So as I was saying, there's some documentation that needs to be done about this entity. And I have the true name to the entity. I've gotten disembodied faces captured. The thing is I brought this object also to a location that was haunted. So I just got to make sure, yes, that's, so I just have to match, I have to be 100% sure that the faces that were captured at Dyer Lane were indeed tied to the doll, but not in the fields of Dyer Lane. So that's part of the purpose of all of these cameras rolling, is to make sure that this face that I captured at Dyer Lane, or if I capture any here, and I have captured several disembodied faces in different locations. It's actually, I'm sorry, the doll has been more, it just said counter. It could be trying to counter these crystals. I understand you have been talking nice, and I respect that. So this doll has been in a couple other locations, in a couple houses that involve some team members that actually helped me out with some answers by doing experiments with these objects. So the longer and the more through the investigation that we've done with this object, we've gotten matchup with voices. So we finally got a true voice that matches to a doll. We're just trying to line up 100% that these disembodied faces that I've captured, and there goes my camera again, are lined up to this object and not the fields of Dyer Lane. Because Dyer Lane is extremely active, but if you bring a haunted object to a haunted area, there's going to be an implosion of activity. This is important to know, especially if you don't know what you're doing, because you could put yourself in very, very high risk for attachment, because this thing, you might piss it off. So you got to be careful with that. Just looking for just a moment. Let me try to get this camera rolling one more time. There's no way this thing could be dead. I still got some battery left. I'm gonna roll it. Got to get this thing rolling. These captures are very important. I'm surprised my SLS camera's been friendly with me tonight. It hasn't shut down, because Pam usually likes to shut that off. And I want to take this time to thank everyone for taking the time to, hop on here and check this out, because some of this stuff is very important. And like I said, the purpose of me doing this is I'm trying to make sure everything is 100% lined up to what all the facts that I'm pulling up and all the research that I've been doing on this doll. I got to make sure everything's 100%, because when I get everything documented, this is going to be important information for as far as demonology information about the entity that Pam is short for. Okay. You're welcome. Of course. Maybe someday, but thank you so much. I do plan on exhibiting this doll. It might be a little while before I let that happen. I might let a few selected people, obviously team members, have already seen the doll. But it needs to be confined, especially if met in person. It needs to be confined within its glass case, and it has to have its recommended crystals binding it in place in a specific manner. This has to be done before I could allow people to exhibit this. But I'm sure the doll will like the attention. Its scent. Well, Okay, so I haven't tried this tonight, so I'm going to try it now. Is actually grab the Ovilus device and see if it says anything in my hand. It might not, because it's a little bit harder for it to break through that bind that I have it in, because it is protected in place. And I am kind of keeping an eye on the SOS. I'm kind of looking down over here, checking for any kind of movement. So, it doesn't look like it wants to say anything, but these are the words that are on there right now. Sorry, my sense of direction of where the camera is horrible. Apologize for that. So it doesn't want to say anything right now, so it's stopped at sense. Well, maybe it wants me to make sense of what it's been telling me throughout this night. So let me get out of the shot of Pam. Sorry. Let's see. Me being paranormal investigator for YouTube. This is a super knowledgeable. Thank you. You are welcome. And you know, that's the purpose of me doing this. I'm really not doing this really to, you know, for any kind of fame or money. I'm just, you know, here to expose and unveil the truth that people need to know, and for everybody's safety, for anybody that wants to get into the field. And basically, the way you're going to want to, you know, do this in a safe, correct way, and basically what to kind of look out for when you're dealing with objects or entities like this, and how to deal with it. So, you know, eventually I'd like to, we are working on a film, and eventually would like to do this. It just said quiet, and the battery on my IR camera is about to die. That is crazy. I just watched it happen. It jumped from 2 bars to red bar just now. I used my backup battery, by the way. So that's a brand new battery almost, and it's already almost dead. And also, I do plan on doing possibly lives on YouTube. Probably turn out a little better than on Instagram. I'm not sure. I've never done live on YouTube, but I know that the lives are supposedly a little bit more better, as far as what I heard. So this is our second Q&A. This is also you doing a great job. Appreciate it. Thank you, Charles. Go to bed. So it just said density. That's interesting right there. Density, it could be referring that it's actually here in a different density. Now, density is just another form of word of dimension, because this is an interdimensional being. So it just a density that simply means that it's communicating from another density, another dimension. So this is all great communication, and I'm really, really proud to actually see this happening live, that this is happening. And like I said, anybody that's doing this, in the paranormal field, or curious about joining the paranormal field, be careful doing stuff like what I'm doing right now. It's not something I'd strongly recommend doing. Actually, I don't recommend it. This is something that took a lot of discipline, and it took a lot of discipline and understanding with how to overcome these type of entities. Let's have a look. Okay. So it sounds like a conversation I don't know about on there. You just want to make sure that you really have an understanding of what you're doing, and have some knowledge in as far as if you're dealing with like highly negative stuff, you want to research a little bit into like the demonology. And some people kind of frown upon that because they think, oh, you're a Satanist because you study demonology. No, there is a difference between studying demonology for your own protection rather than worshiping it. And this is important because demons don't want you to know about them. They don't want exposure. They don't want you to know about other densities or dimensions or how they work. They want people to be in a dumbed mind to not understand what's going on. This is something that they have done for thousands and thousands of years, maybe even longer. And this goes as far as hostile non-terrestrial beings as well. And these beings can work under right under our noses. There's several different spectrums of light that we don't see, and people that are unaware with what's going on are easy targets because they don't understand it. They're going to have a situation where they don't know if they're being affected. They're not going to know if they're being affected, and these things know this, and then they can get into your head. They can figure out what your inner fears are and use that to manipulate you. And even like I was talking about having holy relics and stuff, make sure you have 100% total faith in those, that they'll work, and no fear in the entity, because you have full free will to yourself. As humans, that's the gift we do have, is we have free will. We have the choice whether if we want to take the path of a service to self-belief or service to others. Depending on what path you choose is what kind of energies you're going to carry. And also hanging around people that are in a service to self-belief may attract negative entities to you. So if this person can't if this individual that is negative and there's another person that's positive, they could be affected by this negative person. So why that feeling of when you could sense when someone's stressed out almost. So you'd be standing somewhere and then someone would walk in a room and all of a sudden the environment just got really tense. It's because your consciousness is connected. We're all connected consciously. So you could sense that person is distressed, and you're carrying on that energy of what is surrounding them. Thank you. So I'm not sure when this live is going to cut out. I feel like it's going to just surprise me. So hopefully it's going to give me a heads up. So I haven't got really anything on that. We got one spike earlier, which was cool. But I'm going to switch this energy puck right here. See if anything happens. Hoping it does. Or you know what? I'll keep that REM pod out. But we're just going to reposition it by Giggles the Clown. Who knows? Maybe he might be the one that wants to be active. So we'll give Giggles a chance. But we're going to allow Pam to experiment with this energy puck. I have not got anything on the energy puck since I've gotten it. It does... Oh, right. Everybody see that? So, Giggles, is that you doing that? Okay, apparently Giggles is coming in. Alright. Well, that didn't take too long. So, unless... Okay, so... So let's see if anything happens. Any kind of words want to come through. If anything wants to give me a sign of what is communicating with this object.